Hey everyone, Chris Lewis from Fox 47's Digital Newsroom. Excited to have you back again for another Rebound Mid-Michigan segment where we're talking about things that you can do to be able to rebound from coronavirus, from COVID-19 as we prepare for the future. And today we have two great guests. We are talking to Ryan Fewins-Bliss and Christopher Tremblay from the Michigan College Access Network. Thanks so much for being here both.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure to have you here today. I am really excited because, one of the things that I think that people are starting to hear about is that the landscape of higher education is changing, and higher education is having to think about things in many different ways, as a lot of people are. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about when you're looking at higher education today, and you're talking to educational professionals, how are you seeing that the landscape is truly changing for students as they look at starting college this fall?
Well, Chris, we were already in an enrollment epidemic, if you will, here in Michigan, with the number of high school seniors slowly decreasing over the next decade. So higher ed was already trying to figure out how to be creative and ensure that students are still coming to post-secondary so they can get those certificates and degrees and enter the workforce. Now this problem is on steroids. Students don't know if their campuses are going to be open, don't know if all of their programs will be available, don't know what format it'll look, and don't know if it'll be safe for them, frankly, to leave their homes. And so there's a lot of unrest in the K-12 realm, and students and families trying to figure out what fall will look like. And when Christopher and I talk to our colleagues at higher ed, they don't know the answers yet. And so they try to open up their arms wide and say, we are excited for the fall, whatever that might look like, and we're still trying to figure it out. It's not a great answer for anybody, but everybody is trying their best at this point.
That I think colleges are smart in, again, also using the public health data to determine what next steps should be. I think they're doing a lot of contingency planning because they will be open. The question would be just what format will they be delivering it in? And will students feel comfortable, especially new students, having an entirely, full semester online? When for some of them, that might be the first time they may have ever experienced, a full online schedule and, developing a routine and a pace. And where do you go for support when you need help in a class, when you would normally go to an on-campus, center for some tutoring or for support? So I think colleges are working very hard to pivot, to have their, plans ready to go no matter what.
I think that this time of year also tends to be an optimal time when parents typically are going onto college campuses with their juniors, their sophomores, they're starting to look at the future. They're starting to try to figure things out, and that's changed too. How are you telling students or parents that are asking these questions about how their students can best be able to visit campuses, learn about campuses when we're under a stay-at-home order?
And higher ed has been preparing for this moment for years. They've had virtual walkthroughs and campus tours for so long. And I think people have thought, to heck with this, I'm going to get on campus and physically see. I don't know why they're investing in this technology, but lo and behold, it was a really smart investment. So almost every campus has some sort of virtual college tour that you can take online that's self-guided. We're also seeing and are supporting in some of our grants some online college fairs so that students can participate in both visiting and understanding the independent colleges, the community colleges, and the four-year universities. So again, higher ed has been rising itself to the challenge. In fact, we hosted a statewide decision day a few weeks ago, and institutions across the state held Zoom meetings where students and families could Zoom in with an admissions representative and hear a presentation and ask their questions. So higher ed has been very, very responsive in how they've been reacting to this problem in general.
Yeah, I know some schools are even offering a personalized campus tour where one student will actually take them through the campus tour while they sit at home and watch it on the screen. So again, I think that colleges are trying to be creative in what they can do, and offering, I think, a lot more virtual experiences than they've ever had to, beyond what Ryan said with the virtual tours, regular weekly series. Even academic colleges are participating to talk about specific programs, because again, students can't just, go visit with a faculty member to learn more about a specific discipline.
A lot of times at the end of the school year, juniors are talking to their counselors. They're trying to prepare well to know that they've got to have those applications in early if they want to be considered for early decision, or all of those things are going through their head. But now they're not in school. They're not in school. They might be talking to some people via email or things like that, but are there other things that juniors can do to be able to prepare themselves well, to be able to apply when they typically would apply?
And you said it right. Their counselors are still available. Every school that has a virtual learning plan, which at this point is all the schools per state guidelines, have school counselors and are available to talk to students. In fact, I think they would love to hear from students more than they currently are. So the gold standard is a trained and licensed school counselor. They still exist. Students should start there. We also have college advisors in buildings all over the state, who are helping students in all grades. They tend to focus on seniors, getting them through the process, but at this point, that looks a little different in the year, and they certainly could help underclassmen with their support. I think students have to really understand that they have power in this situation and they have leverage. For so long, people have said, you should feel lucky that you are at MSU, or you should feel lucky that you're at U of M. And I would argue the opposite is true at this point, and maybe always has been. MSU would be lucky to have you as a student there. They're desperate. All of them are desperate for enrollment. So take up that desperation, pick up the phone, talk to the admissions folks, talk to the financial aid folks, and tell them you want to go there, and poke and prod them to make you the best offer. I think students and families should be in the driver's seat here.
The other thing I would add that all juniors and actually all high schoolers now have access to, who need some additional support, is a free college advising hotline that MCAN launched, and it's being staffed by nearly 100 college advisors. And so it's offered Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Students who are interested can go to micollegehelp.com, and we can answer all of those questions that they might have about how to get started, or how to, research colleges, or how to find out what the application requirements are, everything in between. I would also say for juniors who are, thinking about their next steps, they need to pay attention to the college websites, because information is being updated regularly, especially related to application deadlines. Many of them are being extended or pushed back. Information about test optional practices for college admission. Many of them are being very flexible and going test optional because of the testing situation, that juniors couldn't take the SAT this past spring. And I would also add that the Common App has just added a question that talks about were you negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and give us some information about that. So it gives students an opportunity, if they were impacted, to be able to share their story as part of their application for the class of 2021.